There's some change in our program. All right, so Dr. Espaldon will be joining us back later after the talk of Professor Wadams. So it's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Dr. Shirley Agrupis is a professor and the current president of Mariano Marcos State University, or MMSU. Recently, she received the Gantimpala Agad Award from the Civil Service Commission for leading MMSU in producing alcohol as disinfectant at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. To hear more about their bioethanol research, let's welcome Dr. Shirley Agrupis.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me clear?
Yep.
Yeah, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good evening to those listeners in the United States. And of course, a special greeting to our honoree to whom this webinar is dedicated. Congratulations, Dr. Joey Comiso. And thank you to Dr. Gay and Cynthia for this opportunity. It is indeed my distinct honor and privilege to share virtual stage with distinguished scientists and scholars and academic leaders in this very significant program honoring my fellow Ilocano, who has not only impacted the Philippine science community, Mariano Marcos State University in particular, but across the globe as well. So my topic is our bioethanol program in MMSU. I will not be presenting scientific data as it is in scientific conference, but I would love to share with you the beautiful story of our bioethanol program. But first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to give MMSU in a nutshell. MMSU is one of the 112 state-funded university, and it is located in northern Philippines, with the birthplace of our honoree, Dr. Joey Comiso. And it has 5 campuses located in Ilocos Norte, in Batac, Curimao, Dingras, Paway, and Lawag, Batac as the main campus. It is recognized as the 3-star university by Quacquarelli Simon, ISO certified, SUC level 4 from a scale of 1 to 5, and recognized as the National University of Agriculture and Fishery, Center of Excellence in Teacher Education, Center of Development in Information Technology, in Biology, in Forestry, and Agriculture. We implement NITS R&D programs aimed at developing sustainable innovations responsive to the needs of our immediate communities while preparing our students and graduates and faculty to make their mark in the global community. 2 of which, as you can see in blue font, were established with the help of Dr. Comiso and other Balik scientists, which we engage here in MMSU. Now, our pioneering research project in this RDE centers trace their roots to the DOST Balik Scientist Program engagement of the university in 2009, during which I was a director of external linkages and partnership, and Dr. Comiso was part of the first batch Ilocano scientists who engaged with MMSU. And being one of the first batch of Ilocano scientists, he played a very crucial role in establishing the niche projects that MMSU is implementing now, including those in the pipeline. He did not only serve as scientist, but he served as a pro bono ambassador to all other scientists. That's why you can see that we are one of the SUCS who has the most number of the UST Balik Scientist Program. The Regional Research and Training Center for Climate Change Studies is a very important support system by providing process satellite data as input to improve our production and governance necessary in building a more resilient community and sustainable resources. with Dr. Comiso, sharing his competence and skill sets and imparting valuable knowledge to our team. MMSU was recognized as one of the leading university with partner SUCS and agencies to promote GIS and remote sensing technology in the country. We have received from CHED and other agencies fundings through which we continue to capacitate of other universities in the Philippines. Dr. Comiso trained MMSU researchers and development planners from the provincial government of Ilocos Norte on remote sensing for vulnerability assessment and improved governance of the Agriculture Center. And this is especially important in the Ilocos, a primary agricultural region ever exposed to natural hazard. And a true-blooded Ilocano scientist, as you can see in the picture, Dr. Comiso embodies excellence and commitment. He did not only demonstrate and give lectures, he did not only conduct forums and workshops, but he went to the field together with his team to validate satellite data. Where is Dr. Comiso coming in to our National Bioenergy Research and Innovation Center, or our bioenergy project? He is a bridge in between, as you can see, in between. Why? Because through the GISRS techniques with which he championed, we were able to map out our biofuel feedstocks, especially Nipa plantation all over the Philippines, making possible the development of a countrywide Nipa map, which enabled us to see which areas to prioritize for our national greening project, focusing on the rehabilitation of establishment of Nipa plantation, not only as a biofuel feedstock for our project, but a haven of fresh fish in the community. So let me now present to you our biofuel program. Our biofuel program is anchored on the Biofuel Act of 2006, which is aimed to reduce dependence on imported fossil-based fuels, enhance the quality of the environment, and create opportunities for countryside social development. And at this point, I would like to acknowledge our funding agencies, which help us realize our goals, which we wanted to realize. The Department of Energy, the USAID, the Sugar Regulatory Authority, the Ethanol Producers Association of the Philippines, the Committee on Renewable Energy, both in the Congress and in the Senate, and of course, the Philippine Balik Scientists. Our biofuel program is anchored on these goals, as you can see, which is also anchored on the Sustainable Development Goals, which include our activities were focused on the development of a technology that can easily be operated by the people in the community to ensure participation of small-scale producers in the bioethanol industry, generation of employment, alleviation of rural poverty. We ensure sustainable development, local ethanol sufficiency, quality environment, fossil fuel-free farming, and of course, development of a new strains of indigenous microorganism for bioprocessing. The R&D, our research and development in biofuel started in 2000-2008 with the exploration of the feedstocks available in the Ilocos region. We explored sweet sorghum, sugarcane, and coconut sugar. Using this as feedstock, we successfully produced the MMSU 95 hydrous bioethanol, culminating with the first trial run of 20% hydrous bioethanol gasoline blend. What makes our our hydrous bioethanol 95% fuel, and the 20% hydrous bioethanol gasoline blend. Controversial is that the Biofuel Act of 2006 mandate the use of 99.8% ethanol, because scientists claim that when we mix an hydrous ethanol with gasoline, they make phase separation. But in our experiments, our proprietary MMSU 95% bioethanol, or we call it MMSU 95 HBE, is an azeotrope 95% ethanol, so that even if you mix with gasoline, they did not create phase separation. I remember Dr. Joey Comiso accompanying us to the Department of Energy, defending the formulation of 20% HBE gasoline blend. I remember him pushing us to move forward on this study, so that with the successful trial run, we unveiled the hydrous ethanol as biofuel blend in 2011, engaged in a pilot scale production and road testing of the hydrous biofuel in 2012. And it is very interesting that in 2012, Dr. Comiso was here in the Philippines. He witnessed how we struggle on how to run our vehicle with the 20% hydrous bioethanol gasoline blend, and we were successful. However, as we pursued higher level of technology development, we were confronted with the problem of sustainability of feedstocks, since the original sugar sources were all being used as food and fodder for animals, and thus creating a debate, food versus fuel. Hence, we look for sugar sources that would not compete with crops for agricultural use. And this in here, we explored Nipa using the GIS-RS technology imparted by Dr. Comiso. We were able to identify locations in northern Philippines, not only in northern Philippines, but all over the Philippines as well. So we tried to dissect the traditional Nipa wine technology in the community and identify our science gap. So if you see that the step 6, so we identify first science gap is that there is an open fermentation in the community, hence the ethanol yield is only 3 to 4%. And in the distillation system, you can see that they use an open wide mouth vessel with no cooling system. So very simple, it is not a rocket science, but when we try to conduct a participative community level R&D, we tried to show the community a setup between their traditional aerobic fermentation system and the MMSU fermentation protocol, which is anaerobic, and the community was able to improve the ethanol yield from 3 to 4% volume to volume to 7 to 8% ethanol. And so we continued, so transitioning to Nipa's feedstock, we deployed the developed technology to communities in 2014 and launched the village scale bioethanol production technology in 2015 with increased community engagement. As you can see, we launched the village scale MMSU bioethanol production technology, and we expanded our community engagement, and we started our project in Cagayan. The USAID wanted to prove our technology using different feedstocks, so we deployed our fermentation and distillation technology and in Mulanay, Quezon using coconut water, and one in Cagayan using liver sap, and another one here in Ilocos Norte using sweet sorghum. After detailed analysis of economics, still we found out that Nipa is the most potential complementary feedstock for bioethanol. So why Nipa? And then from here, we also optimized studies on our distillation. We improved distillation efficiencies. starting from the traditional, which yield only 40% ethanol. We deployed our 13 liters lab scale distillation facility. You can see here the other scientists working with us, Dr. Capareda, another Balik scientist, and of course the father of bioethanol in MMSU, Dr. Abanes. And we reverse engineer our 13-liter distillation facilities to a 150-liter Baileys scale distillation facilities, now fully automated, and two Baileys scale 850-liter capacity. So we continue to deploy 850-liter capacity in different communities in Cagayan, Pamplona, and Apari. So using these technologies, we started bulk producing 95% azeotrope Nipa bioethanol, and we start to engage with the Ethanol Producers Association of the Philippines. This is where the biofuel story to pick up, with the project expanding to include other 7 state university and colleges and local government units. I'm really proud to say, why Nipa in the first place? Why are we focusing now our feedstock for the production of bioethanol instead of the other sugar feedstock like sugarcane and sweet sorghum? In partnership with the Ethanol Producers Association of the Philippines, we have signed MOA with the large-scale bioethanol industry. We explore the potential of Nipa as feedstock for the large-scale bioethanol production. So why Nipa? They are mangrove species, and like sugarcane and sweet sorghum, they contain 10 to 20% sugar. They have 85% fermentable to ethanol, and there's no need of yeast, unlike the sugarcane and the sweet sorghum. And you don't need, once you plant Nipa this year, it will sustain a biofuel, bioethanol, sugar for bioethanol production for the next 50 years. And so there is no food versus fuel. In terms of sustainability, the data of of Dr. Comiso team shows that they are renewable, they are climate smart crop, no maintenance for 50 years, no fertilizer needed, does not require milling, crushing equipment. And processability-wise, for sugarcane and other sugar feedstock, you have to pass through several stages from plantation, cultural management, to sugar extraction and concentration, to fermentation with the addition of yeast and distillation. But if you use Nipa, using the proprietary fermentation and distillation technologies developed by MMSU with no yeast addition, you only have to undergo 2 stages, fermentation and distillation, and you produce a fuel-grade ethanol. I am indeed, and in terms of viability, you can see in the graph that per hectare plantation, Nipa sugar with less input yield more liters of bioethanol than the rest of the sugar feedstock. So I am really very proud to say that we have made significant progress in our alternative renewable energy initiative through the years, and this would not have been possible without the nurturing support of the Balik scientists, of whom Dr. Comiso is definitely one of the biggest and the brightest. To date, our humble renewable energy, you can see in the slide that we signed the memorandum of agreement with 7 state university and colleges, with the Ethanol Producers Association of the Philippines and Sugar Regulatory Authority, and with the national budget appropriation for the establishment of a National Bioenergy Research and Innovation Center. We now have a nationwide deployment of our technology, as well as a nationwide establishment of Nipa plantation. Here in this slide, you can see the participation now of the different SUC, the Antique State University, the Central Luzon State University, the Cagayan State University, of course, Mariano Marcos, Marinduque State College, Pangasinan State University, University of Antique, and West Philippine University. These are the universities strategically located in the different regions where NIPA bounds, and they are now with the DENR budget through their national greening program. We are starting to populate the riverbanks as a future source for bioethanol. To date, we are now engaged. We have already engaged our small-scale bioethanol producers in the community with the large-scale bioethanol industry. No, we cannot use this for biodiesel. There is another feedstock for biodiesel. I am answering in between some questions there, I might forget. And we are trying, there is a continuous technology deployment, and we upgrade and optimize NIPA bioethanol production to technologies. Out of our project, we produce so many scholars now. We are trying to isolate a NIPA, an indigenous NIPA microorganism. We have so far identified 3 potential super yeast that can withstand high temperature and high pH and other special characteristics. Last January, we inaugurated our 5,000 square meter bioenergy research center. We will functionalize soon. In fact, today the service providers of our high state-of-the-art facilities are on to against the COVID-19 to functionalize our facilities, because this is going to be a hub for research and development in renewable energy. And this time we already have a well-defined roadmap, and we hope to continue expanding our partnership as well as NIPA Plantations, so that in the long run, we will be able to answer the shortfall of feedstock for bioethanol production. So at the height of COVID-19, I am so very happy that our research work, our technology which we have developed through the years, we were able to prove that science really works for and by the people. We temporarily redirected the goals of the project, with researchers working day and night to produce 70% ethyl alcohol as disinfectant. We distributed to checkpoints. You can see our researchers working day and night, and we functionalize all our distillation facilities. We have a village scale bioethanol refinery in the university, bought a firewood run, and the new West technology that we will soon launch to the community is a distillation system that is run by renewable energy, no more use of fuel wood. To date, with our bioethanol technology, we were able to distribute alcohol to the following local government units, regions 1, 2, and CAR, the COVID-19 centers, also in region 1, 2, and CAR, including the Philippine General Hospital. We distributed banks because at during the height of the pandemic, there was no ethanol available because of the lockdown. So we provided the alcohol civic organizations, major boundary checkpoints in Ilocos Norte, and other checkpoints, and we produced with the effort and valiance of our researchers. You can see here our governor there receiving his share. We produced thousands and thousands of bioethanol, and we are very thankful for the Philippine Civil Service Commission because they recognize this as an act of responsive public service. But as the program leader of this project, I am so much very happy because we prove once again that you don't need to have a science, highfalutin research, science skyscraper, science project in order to make science work for the people. To date, we are engaged with the local government unit. As the pandemic continues, the local government unit continues to provide us with the molasses, and we process them to bioethanol. Where do we go from now? That is a big question. And with the continuing support of the USAID, the local government units, and the renewable energy in the lower and the upper house, we continue to establish an inclusive SNT-based village scale Nipa bioethanol industry so that MMSU, no matter how small, can contribute to a sustainable development and inclusive growth, giving consideration environment, community, and economy. On a personal note, I would like to reiterate my thanks to Dr. Comiso for staying actively connected to MMSU even after his short BSc stint. Congratulations on your 18th birthday, sir. I would like also to extend my love and congratulations to Ma'am Diane and whole family. Thank you for teaching me how to cook turkey, and thank you for hosting with the Santos dinner during one of the Thanksgiving Day in the United States, where you generously hosted all Ilocano scientists in your house and planned for the conduct of the annual PAASE meeting and symposium in Ilocos Norte, the first of its kind ever conducted in the history of PAASE, because PAASE meeting is always held in Metro Manila and in the United States. But this time, with the leadership of Dr. Comiso, we brought PAASE in Ilocos Norte and in a way helped MMSU with its internationalization endeavor. Sir, on behalf of your children in MMSU, you have here Nathan. Thank you for bringing us to NASA, because I know how it is hard to enter the grounds of NASA. And we are very fortunate because Dr. Nathan, who is now the Dean of the College of Engineering, Dr. Julius, who is now the Dean of the Graduate School, and myself, who is now the 7th President of MMSU, the first alumni. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love.
Thanks,
so
thanks.
Whatever our biofuel would become, and whatever MMSU, whatever achievements MMSU are yet to attain, we attribute our success to our very own Ilocano NASA scientists for providing the foundations through which we make alternative energy innovations work for the university, the community, and ultimately humanity. Agyaman kami unay ay ayaten ni nga apo scientist Joey Comiso. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Shirley, for the very heartwarming words.